What's up, you guys? I hope you're very well. I hope you're having a very nice day. Today we're gonna do a little bit of an update on this guy, but before we do that, there are a couple of things that I wanted to mention. First of all, as I'm recording this video, the eclipse is happening, so I guess happy Eclipse Day. That's number one. Number two, as I'm speaking, same thing. As I'm speaking, we're over 4,000 subscribers in this channel, so that's magnificent. That's really cool. Thank you so much for your support, for following the channel, and supporting with your comments, with your views, likes, everything. Yeah, that's the second one. And the third one is if you haven't subscribed to my other channel, Fishbowls and Musgo, you will be really helping me out if you did. So yeah, just go ahead and drop down to the description box and you can follow the link to my other channel there. So that being said, thank you very much again, and let's get on with today's video. So I wanted to show you this little Adenium project that you've seen in other videos, and this is a really cool project that I'm working on. This is a little Adenium that I'm growing as bonsai, and basically applying all of the techniques that you'd apply to a typical bonsai tree, like I guess you should say a typical bonsai species, but this is of course a different type of plant. The desert rose, it's more closely related to a succulent rather than a woody plant or a woody tree. So there are a couple of things that you got to keep in mind. So the first one is the transplant. I transplanted it to this little colander. That works very good for adeniums because they don't like excess water. So if you use a very well draining mix, you put in a colander, these little guys will be super happy. Yeah. And so for this one in particular, we had a sacrifice branch over here that was growing and growing, but I cut already because now I'm wanting to work on the ramification, and that's very easy too. We have a very clear example of that over here. Yeah. So when you cut one of those main branches, for example this one, you cut it, and if the plant is healthy, you will be getting 2, 3, 4 little buds emerging from that cut side, and those 2 lateral ones are the ones that you want to use. So yeah, during the spring, during early autumn, you can do that. You'll be able to ramify it, no problem. This one I haven't done that yet because I haven't seen that much new growth, and because I just recently transplanted. There's also another problem with this one in particular. You see that patch of this colored bark, you could say that's actually sunburned. There was a time where I kind of neglected this little guy because it was in a corner where I couldn't see it very well, and so the lack of water, it's caused this that we can see right here. Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah, so that's one of the problems that we have. And another thing is the transplant. You can see that I've been choosing and selecting radial roots. Yeah. And yeah, it's easy to transplant. These can be very heavily root pruned. The only thing that you got to remember is that you can't plant them immediately after you prune the roots. As crazy as it sounds, you have to let them dry out. Don't put them in soil, don't put them in cocoa peat, don't put them anywhere. Put them out to dry in the sun for a couple of days until a callus has formed, and then you can plant. Otherwise you're going to get rot. You're going to get rotting at the cut side. So that's the only thing that you got to remember in order to have like a healthy adenium plant. Other than that, these are very healthy. I remember once somebody asked me if you could keep this inside. I guess you could try, because the inside of a home is much drier than the outside. So if you live in a very wet place, that actually might be beneficial. The only thing is that these also require lots and lots of sunlight. So if you can provide that, I guess it could be an experiment for you. Yeah. Other than that, well, you can see that this little guy is doing very, very well. I intend to keep ramifying it, as I told you, and yeah, hopefully in the future this will be you know, a stunner. Another little update that I wanted to show you guys is our little Japanese black pines that we planted in another video. This time of year, while the candles are opening, you can see that they're nice and healthy, and you know, candle pruning is right in the horizon as one of the operations that we gotta do very, very soon. So this one in particular, we can see that it's got most of its growth here. I didn't do any needle pluck because I had just recently transplanted them, but in the future I intend to balance the vigor of the tree so that it can continue to develop the little buds that emerge from lower in the trunk. Yeah, so I'm also gonna decandle. I'm only going to leave one of those candles active so that it can continue to grow. And sorry about the washing machine, but it's perpetually going over here, so yeah, that's that. And you can see that the little trunk is fattening nicely. Yeah, this is planted in pumice and cocoa peat. Yeah, so this is kind of cool. One that I did needle pluck is this one over here. You can see that I left this section of the tree with less needles, and yeah, we can see that the candles are there, are elongating, are healthy, but we got more little shoots that are active further down, further below in the little trunk. Yeah, so that's really, really cool. In the future, I'm also gonna candle prune it so that we get more buds and we can start to ramify it. But yeah, I'm just gonna remove a couple of these and leave a single super long candle so that it can continue to grow and it can continue to fatten the trunk. I think I'm gonna try and do a little bending of the trunk in the future, but it's gonna be a little bit more daunting and challenging because it's you know, it's much thicker now. You see that? Maybe like a half an inch. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. Other than that, look, nice growth. Yeah. Over here I have a little Adenium cutting, and what I told you about the transplant applies to cuttings 100%. You know, when you take the cuttings, you got to leave them out to dry for a couple of days until it's completely dry. If it's just a little bit watery, you see that it's still fresh to the touch, it's gonna rot if you put it in the soil. So your best chance of survival for a cutting like this would be to leave them out to dry. Some people like to use cinnamon. I think I mentioned that in our previous video. Yeah, because that's an antifungal spice. So you can very well use that if you have it on hand. I didn't. You know, you can see this little guy is starting to produce new leaves over there. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it has rooted. And finally, you know, just as with this one, this is what we're going to do. We're also going to start a couple of pine little projects. I got tons and tons of these little Italian stone pines. So I'm going to start 3 new pine projects. A stone pine, Italian stone pine, Mexican blue pine, and a Pinus symbroides. One of these little guys over here. Yeah. So I think that's going to be quite interesting. Stay tuned for that video. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very good season if everything goes well. Okay. So like I said previously in the beginning of the video, thank you so much, you guys. Absolutely, thank you so much for your support, for your comments, for everything. Subscribe to my other channel. As usual, you got any questions, comments, doubts, anything, drop them down below. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay. Oh, and by the way, if you want to subscribe to my other channel, Oh, I think I mentioned that already. It's in the description box. See you in the next one. Bye.